Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Kittredge Field on the campus of the beautiful University of Colorado Boulder for today's MCLA matchup between the Colorado Buffaloes and the Utah Utes. It's a glorious day here in Boulder. Sun is shining. And we were about 20 seconds from the opening draw. It's the captains take to the field. Take to midfield, rather. As the captains meet at midfield before the opening draw, just want to remind you folks, this is going to be a loaded matchup here in this Rocky Mountain Lacrosse Conference. Matchup, this huddle is broken. Utah currently sits number 18 in the country, followed by Colorado at 15. They've held that spot for the past couple weeks. So it should be a good one here at Kitt Field to wind out this long weekend of lacrosse. Before this, we were covering the our women's club lacrosse team in the Rocky Mountain, or the Mile High tournament rather. And now we get to close off this weekend with some men's lax here at Kitt Field. And we are underway here, folks. Colorado takes the opening draw. Here's Jacob Ruse with possession. Gives it over to Craig Nam. Nam sends it back over to Weston Keller. Keller and Nam are that dynamic duo who we've seen all season. Here comes Nam again, going up the right side. Nam sends it over to Connor Ashman. Ashman's going to wrap around behind the net, and he's going to send this out to Jackson Thomas. Thomas sends back toward midfield. And running up the field, he's number 24, Cy Scherber, and they score. Easy first goal for Colorado to start off. Not even a minute in, and Buffaloes take a 1-0 lead here on Kitt Field in Boulder on this glorious Sunday afternoon. Back to the face-off circle is Mike Kuligowski. Kuligowski been instrumental on these faceoffs as he takes another one. He sends this one back. That pass was intended for Trevor Kunkel, rather. Couldn't get to this one. Back out in front of the net is Ruse. Umatan has it. Umatan is going to send this behind the net. Another wraparound play. There's Thomas. Thomas out into traffic. There's another shot. They score! Ben Shuri. An early 2-0 lead for the Buffaloes. Not even 90 seconds in. And their dominance is being asserted early. Utah will have another chance to respond here. Kuligowski winning those faceoffs. It's absolutely incredible this season. They're a huge factor in the Buffs' success. And he takes this one as well. Colorado maintains possession. Utah has not seen time in the Buffaloes' offensive zone yet this game. So let's play it into the corner. Thomas sends it out to Sherbert. Sherbert back to Keller. Weston Keller feeling that pressure, closing in on the crease, sends it back behind for Nam. Nam sneaking up the right side as that's sent back to the edge of the crease. Here's Thomas taking a shot from deep, and it's picked up by the Utes. So they will get to see some offensive zone action for the first time here today. That's Will Harvett closing in. Takes a shot. That shot goes wide of the net. So you can see Utah starting their aggression. Stands are packed here today at Kit Field, as this team usually draws pretty well. From this is the second time this season we've had the opportunity to bring you all a broadcast. Ground ball recovered by the Utes. It's still loose, and we'll get a whistle here, and it will be going with Colorado. Jackson Thomas on the opposite side of the field sends this one out toward midfield to Cooper Penor. This one back to Thomas. It's held by Ullman. Sent across the field, back to Ullman. Ullman closing in. Closing in fast, loses his footing, and goes down. Takes a shot, goes way wide of the net, and hits the netting in the backfield. Now controlled by Pennier. Pennier rushing for that one, as is Mutin. Utah defense starting to step up a little bit. That shot went way wide by Pennoyer. Into the corner here is Mutin. And rushing out the goal is Shuri. Shuri takes a shot. That goes way wide of the net. Beautiful setup there. Just no capitalization on that play. Back in bounds is Thomas. Jackson Thomas out into traffic. They're picked up out in front. They score! Connor Ashman rips this one. Buffalo's take an early 3-0 lead. Back into the net goes Anton Gudik. And timeout called by the Utes. Like we said, folks, early 3-point lead here for Colorado. Utah still in a drought, and we'll step aside for a brief moment.
Hello and welcome to this week's Scobuff Sports Live Show. I'm Trent Finnegan.
And I'm Leo Rivera IV.
And how are we doing today, Leo?
We've had a very brisk, late spring window here with weather-wise, but I'm having a fantastic day. Yourself?
Very cold in Boulder, but I've had a good day. We're at the CU NFL Showcase earlier. We'll get to that later. But we start things off with very important news from football. Coach Prime is here to stay. Over the break, the Board of Regents agreed to a record-breaking contract extension to the 2029 season, giving Sanders a base salary of $10 million per year, adding on to the
Ball to Thomas. Behind the net now. Another wraparound attempt. Nam with the shot here. He takes one, and it's going to be saved by Anton Gudick. Gudick starting to step up, and charging the other way is Luke McElliott. This one's sent back out to Joe Allen. And Joey Chabola. Chabola, that's number 0. Chabola sent out to McElliott. McElliott goes up the right side. He's looking for help, and he's got it from Luke Allen, or Joe Allen, rather. Allen looking for an opening. That's sent back for Chabola. Up the right side, and he'll go back behind the net. Chabola. Great defense by Connor Chesson. That's sent across the field for number 0. He takes a shot, and it's saved. Colorado's defense has been absolutely incredible today. Pressure. Landon Latham feeling that one. And now Colorado back in the offensive zone. We're caught in the midst of a line change. Ben Shiri lays this one back. Here's Thomas. Back to Yumatin. And use Shuri again. Shuri, back to Thomas. Shuri. Penoyer. Back to Yumatin. Here's Shuri. Repeatedly running this play. Shuri again. Top of the field, taking their time. Shot clock winding down, under 20 seconds. There's another shot, they score! Buffalo's on top, 6-0. Absolutely electric on that goal. Asserting their dominance early, just inside 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. Mike Kuligowski returning to the draw circle with Quinn Parker. Just beyond midfield. The shot is Ian McCarthy, along with Dawson Yates. Rushing for this one, Kuligowski recovers it. Looking. And that's held on to by Jacob Ruse. Ruse. And Utah with an opportunity, charging downfield. Off the left side, bit of a trip up there on Adam Amon. A huge check there on Sam Carpenter. Utah maintains control. Bit of a check there by Landon Latham, the defenseman. Utah still maintains control up the right side. Now ball is loose behind the net in the stick of Aiden Wallace. I got to Gormley. Gormley charging upfield. Another wraparound attempt behind the net. 30 seconds to go on the shot clock. Buffalo's defense all over this. 2.5 to go here in the first quarter. Utah takes a shot right into traffic. Number 99 goes down. There's another shot, and it went off the helmet. Number 8, goaltender for Colorado. here come the Buffs respond. It's Trevor Kunkel. Kunkel just passing midfield. That's sent back to Cooper Penoyer. Penoyer charging up toward the slot. Now the ball is controlled by Ben Shuri. Shuri takes a shot from deep, out in front, and it's saved by Gudick. Gudick in trouble, gets it away to Dane Winslow. Winslow. Excellent shot out to Joe Allen. Joe Allen. Picked up by Chabola, rather. Chabola takes a shot right into traffic, and another ground ball. It's going to be recovered by the Utes. Coming by Nick Vermeulen. Inside, 60 seconds to go here in the first quarter. 6-0 Colorado. Utah. It's just starting to penetrate that Buff zone. As that ball is taken behind the net. That's sent back out across. Colorado defense all over this one. Another wraparound attempt, and it's aborted. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Ground ball is loose, and will be recovered by the Utes. Under 10 to go on the shot clock. 20 seconds on the game clocks here. It's going to be sent out. And the shot clock violation will be coming here, and it will be Colorado ball. 11 seconds to go, exactly. Deep pass out in front. That shot will go wide and hit the netting. 4.5 seconds in the first quarter. A dominant performance for Colorado. And Utah will hold this one. That's sent way downfield and not recovered. And that's an early lead for Colorado, 6-0. As Utah will have a chance to convene and talk about some strategies to get back in this game. And we'll step aside here for a moment.
Original 5-year, nearly $30 million contract he first signed in 2022. Deion has the opportunity to rake in an astounding $54 million over the next 5 years. This new agreement makes Sanders the highest paid coach in the Big 12 and top 10 in the country.
And earlier this week, we asked around campus to see how some students were feeling after the news of the big contract.
In 1994, Deion Sanders came up with his hit single, Must Be the Money. But 31 years later, Coach Prime still says, must be the money.
While most people on campus over spring break were catching up on their sleep, Coach Prime inked a $54 million contract that should keep him here another 5 years. But how does the average CU Boulder student feel about their highest paid official's new contract?
I think he's done a lot for the program and really built up just not just like the football program, but kind of like the school in general.
Whether it's the Prime effect or not, applications for the fall 2024 semester had a 20% increase with 68,000 applications.
Just overall as a school, it's getting more people coming and just bringing a huge community together in Boulder.
While that's good and all for the school, what about the football side?
I'm tired of losing, so I know Deion will help us win some more games.
However, one student thinks the amount of cheddar he's getting is flat out ridiculous.
I think that it's a little silly to pay him that much.
Deion stated at the start of his tenure that he would restore the program to its former glory. So the real question is, can he do it with the new extension?
What was it was it early 90s, 80s since we won our last championship? I feel like Deion's our best shot of ever getting back to that same level of competition.
As Colorado football gears up for the 2025 season, Coach Prime will be rolling the big bucks, but only time will tell if the investment is worth it.
Welcome back to Kip Field, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting ready for quarter number 2 between the Colorado Buffaloes and the Utah Utes. Mike Kuligowski and Quinn Parker return to the draw circle. Another draw controlled by Kuligowski and Colorado. Little fake pass there by Trevor Kunkel. Kunkel will go off field. Utah defense being tested yet again. As here comes Wes Keller. Sent that one across the field to Kai Sherbert. Sherbert. We're going to stop it here, just half a minute in. It's going to be Utah ball. Rushing downfield is Luke McElliott once again. McElliott will come off field and he'll pass it out to Joe Allen. Allen. Number 67 takes a shot and they score. Utah is on the board. You could forget the shutout, folks. Their flame is restored. Or should I say established? 6-1, Colorado. Guligaski once again comes in for the draw. Exactly 14 minutes to go in the first half. Here's Kuligowski, sends it downfield. Buffs feeling that momentum now. After that goal is Jack Ryan rushing upfield, and Utah defense really stepping up their game here. Leaping up for that one was Trevor Kunkel, and it's recovered by Colorado. Rushing the other way is Connor Chesson. Chesson takes a shot, and that's saved again by Gudick. There's another shot. That one went a little wide of the net. Hit the back of the netting in that goal. Utah running up the field again. Dawson Yates, Colorado getting their first real test of the day. That's sent back to number 21, Colin Warm. Saw him earlier in the first quarter. Had some great scoring opportunities. Warm going up into the slot. And Utah, beautiful shot there by Kyle Gormley. Gormley's shot. That's some acrobatics right there, if I've ever seen some, folks. Utah crowd hyping up their crowd here. Very vocal, and that's cool to see. Warm right into traffic, feeling that pressure from Powers Decker. There's a big shot there, and a broken stick. And rushing to the sidelines, it's going to be Ian McCarthy. Play resumes. Here's Utah with another chance. Gormley takes a shot. That goes high. Beautiful setup. 48 seconds left on the shot clock. And here's Joe Allen. Retreats back to midfield as he sends this one to Colin Warm. Warm closing in. That pass is broken up, but picked up by number 0 for the Utes. That's sent back out. Here's Warm again, closing in. And Joe Powers Decker is there to shut him down. This ball recovered by Colorado. And Beckler will run the other way. Craig Nam, with another opportunity, gave this one up. Got a breakaway out in front here. And a great save, and a flag is thrown. Colorado upset with this call. Looks like Utah's going to go on a man up here. With the ball is Kyle Gormley. Here comes Gormley. Ball is played back in. Picked up by number 0. Sent back out to Gormley. He wraps this one back into the corner for Chabola. Ball is loose and recovered by Owen Edwards. Edwards back behind. That pass is picked up by Gormley. And it will stay with Utah with 57 seconds left on the shot timer. Buffalo's penalty was on Joe Powers Decker. As it comes to an end, the man up is over. Colorado's defense really stepping it up here. This one's sent out. Joey Chabola. Chabola back out. Utes with another scoring opportunity here. Closing in is Warm. Warm right into traffic, and that's another ground ball, and it will be recovered by Warm. Buffalo's bench getting very vocal here. There's another shot and a beautiful save. Shot time is reset, and here comes Colorado going the other way. With it is Trevor Kunkel. We get a stoppage of play here. So it looks like Colorado will call a timeout. 6-1. Colorado just inside 10 minutes to go in the second quarter. And we'll step aside for a moment.
Xavier McNivets, Scobo Sports.
Thanks, Xavier. With that, we also have the details of Coach Prime's newest extension. Deion Sanders will get a substantial bonus for each major milestone he reaches while in Boulder. These landmarks include $100,000 for each additional win after 9 wins in a regular season, $150,000 for a Big 12 championship appearance, and $400,000 for making the college football playoff. If he chooses to leave CU before the end of this year, his buyout will be for $12 million, decreasing to $3 million by 2029. That number will decrease by $2 million each season. Sanders is also allowed to retire at any time without penalty, as long as he does not join another team after that. It's now time for this week's Buff Banter with Mia and Colby with some insight on this contract.
Hey Buff fans, you're here for Buff Banter today with Mia Driscoll and Colby Wyatt. We're here to talk about Coach Prime's record-breaking contract extension through 2029. Colby, get us started with some of your thoughts about that.
Yeah, well, let's just get the facts out of the way. 5 years, $54 million. Starts out getting paid $10 million a year, and that'll increase every year. And then the buyout, on the flip side, will decrease.
Hey Buff fans, you're here for Buff Banter today with.
Welcome back to Kit Field. Just inside 10 minutes to go. A reminder, Colorado 6, Utah 1, and Colorado will get another chance in the offensive zone. Something they haven't really had seen in the last 5 minutes or so. Some beautiful setups here. As that pass is faked and kept by Alec Yumelin. There's a pass out to Ben Shiri. Shiri takes a shot. Yumelin. Moulton. There's another shot. They score! An easy routine shot and goal for Connor Ashman. Second of the day, if I'm not mistaken. 9.5 to go. Buffalo's on top, 7-1. Looks like Ashman will go to the bench. Kuligowski back out. This time he'll be facing Micah Van Pelt for the faceoff. Here's Kuligowski with another one. That's batted out of the air by Luke McElliott. And McElliott, his pass was picked up by Dawson Yates. So Utah getting another chance here. Yates comes off the field. That's left back for Joey Chabola. Chabola out near midfield. Utes getting another chance. Buffalo's still on top. That shot into the corner. Traffic from Colorado's defense, really hard to contend with as Utah trying to penetrate that crease. That's another wraparound behind the net off that pass from Joe Allen. 30 seconds on the shot clock. That's sent back out to Owen Edwards. Edwards seeing some time in the offensive zone for the first time today. And they score! Owen Edwards! What a beauty. Sneaks that one right over the right shoulder. And the gap is narrowed to 5. Yet again. There's still hope for the Utes. 7-2. In favor of the Buffaloes. Out comes Kuligowski. And it looks like Van Pelt will stay in the draw. Yeah, Kuligowski is just so hard to contend with if you're the Utah coach right now, or anyone else who's really faced Colorado this season. You really can't compete with the man, the myth, the legend, Mike Kuligowski. He comes away with another one. Beautiful win. As Kuligowski goes up. Utah defense quick to respond. As that's handled. I saw Sherbert. Sherbert. I got here to Thomas. Jackson Thomas. Now Wes Keller. I got to Sherbert. And now it's wrapped around behind the net. Held onto by Jacob Ruse. Thomas. That's a Sherbert. Here's Nam. Back behind the net. It's Connor Ashman. And that ball goes way out of bounds into the stands. Better hope nobody got knocked out by that play. Bunch of kids sitting over there cheering on their Buffaloes. That's what we love to see coming out here. It's the kids coming out here to support club sports on the campus of the University of Colorado. 30 seconds on the shot clock. Here's Thomas. Sent back out to Sherbert and Nam. Now the chance here is Keller. Back to Nam. Nam looking. He's got Sherbert. And here's Thomas at the top. Sherbert again. Sherbert back to Nam. And a rip there from West Keller. And Utah will have the ball coming in here right about midfield. So a fresh line will come out here for both sides as Utah looking to get some time in the offensive zone yet again. 2 goals for Utah so far in this quarter. So there's another chance here, and it's a beautiful save. Goaltender number 8 for Colorado. Let's update my roster during halftime. Charging down the field now is Connor Chesson. Chesson got taken down over there on the right side. And that Jacob Ruse is forced out of bounds, and it will be Utah ball. 6:20 to go here in the first half. Taking a hit is Kyle Gormley. Gormley with so many great shot attempts. Looking to put something else on the board here. That shot goes wide of the net as it was deflected. It looked like from Colin Warm. That's played back out. Here's Joe Allen. Allen looking for help. He sends that one in. So it's maintained their spot in the zone. Gormley sends that one back into the corner. And that'll hit the netting. And it stays. Utah ball. You can see the shot clock is reset. Colin Warm. There's Warm. That pass intended for Edwards. Can't connect. .5:22 remaining until halftime. Get some substitutions real quick for Utah as the officials convene for a moment. You can hear the crowd trying to start some chants up here at Kidd Field. And now Utah will see some more time in the offensive zone. Shot clock is reset. Utah still with the ball. Here's Joe Allen. Sends this one back around. It will be another wraparound attempt for, looks like Chabola. Chabola coming around. Pass intended for Owen Edwards. Can't connect, and it looks like Edwards' stick might have been snapped there. No, it is not. And here comes Colorado. Micah Van Pelt. Or excuse me. It's Joe Powers Decker. Powers Decker. To Kunkel. Kunkel. That pass picked up by Thomas. Jackson Thomas. To Alec Udelin. Powers. That's a Udelin. There's Ben Shuri. Shuri. Send that one back to Roos. Udelin. I got to Thomas. Udelin at the top of the crease. Thomas feeling that pressure. Utah defense all over this as they'll do some routine passes, try to wind down the clock as much as possible. 20 seconds on the shot timer. This one will be played back. Udelin trying to penetrate. And that was a forced to get rid of that one. That's sent across. Ashman. Ashman to Thomas. 3 seconds on the shot clock. And it will be shot clock violation. Utah ball. So we got a quick change here. And here comes Joey Chabola. Chabola. That's back out for Kyle Gormley. Gormley sent across the field, picked up by number 99. Colin Warm with the ball. Looking to go up the left side. Warm sends this one back out toward midfield. And Utah will try to penetrate the zone once again. Here's Gormley trying to penetrate. He's going up the middle, and a bit of a scuffle there. Colorado with the ball, and charging the opposite way is Jack Ryan. Ryan cross to Thomas out in front. That pass wouldn't connect with Jacob Roos. Beautiful setup attempt there from Connor Ashman. Ashman always lurking on that just to the right of the net. 2.5 to go here in the second quarter. Sent across the field. Buffalo still on top, 7-2. Those joining us today, thank you so much. I'm Kieran Walger. Nick Evans is producing today. Colorado maintains possession. 2:10 to go. Here's Craig Nam. That's Jackson Thomas. Back to Nam. And I'll send this one back to Sherbert. Nam. Here's Sherbert again. Looking. He's got Ashman. Sherbert. Here's Keller. Nam. Back to Sherbert. Ashman. Ashman will look to take a shot. No. Sends it to Thomas. Ashman. Out to Sherbert. Nam. To Keller. Back to Nam. And a shot. And it did not go in. That's a no goal. As that shot went high over the net. And it will be Utah ball. Inside 90 seconds to go until halftime. Colorado hasn't seen a whole lot of action this quarter. Their defense will need to step up to keep Utah on their heels. That ball goes out of bounds, and it will come to Colorado. Playing the ball inbounds is Joe Powers-Decker. Powers-Decker pass to Ben Shuri. To Thomas, who's Shuri. Sent this one back out to Udelman. That went into the corner for Benoyer. Back out in front. There's a shot. Sent across the field. Beautiful setup there. That pass is sent back out to Alec Udelman. Back into the corner as we round the half-minute mark in the second quarter. And they score! Beautiful shot there by Jackson Thomas. That was a redirect off that pass from behind the net. Couldn't quite catch who that pass was from, but 30.4 to go. 8-2 Buffaloes. What a beauty. Mike Kuligowski coming back out along with Micah Van Pelt. Kuligowski comes away with another one. He's got 25 seconds to extend the lead again, and a great save made by Gudick. Charging down the left side is Rex Merrill. Looking. Utes have one last chance. 5 seconds to go in the quarter. Another wraparound attempt and broken up by Colorado. And that will do it for quarter number 2. Folks, we will go into halftime. Colorado on top, 8-2. Some beautiful, beautiful shots, particularly from Jackson Thomas off that redirect. That doesn't make play of the week. I don't know what will, folks. But we'll step aside here for about 10 minutes or so from Kit Field. Enjoy some scenes from this week's live show.
Mia Driscoll and Colby Wyatt. We're here to talk about Coach Prime's record-breaking contract extension through 2029. Colby, get us started with some of your thoughts.
Facts out of the way. 5 years, $54 million. Starts out getting paid $10 million a year, and that'll increase every year. And then the buyout, on the flip side, will decrease every year. It starts off at $12 million, and it'll decrease to the end. Last year, the buyout will only be $3 million, which is important, something I'm sure we'll talk about throughout this whole segment, because every year that he's with us, the odds of him leaving us will get more likely because of that decreased buyout.
Yeah, totally. And that is something that has been the bigger concern is with that buyout going down, he has less reason to stay here. And that's another thing that we've talked about is Colorado didn't initially have the funds to pay him this big of a contract. Number one highest paid coach in the Big 12. And as we look at what he's brought to this program, $99 million in revenue. There's been some that even say that this is not just deserving, but that he's deserved more. How do you feel about that?
I mean, I don't know if I'd say he deserved more. I mean, 4th highest paid in the nation, highest paid in Big 12. I don't think he needs any more, especially when we look at the fact that he's only been with us for a couple years. There's concerns. Have we reached our peak? Are we only going to get worse? Can he make us better? If he can't make us better, then I don't think the money is quite worth it.
Obviously, that turnaround from his first season to his second season, we can see that he wants to be here, at least for right now. We can see the drive that he's instilled in these players, national prominence brought back to this program. Our athletic director is clearly very excited about the future. What else do you think that would keep him here? As we lose Travis Hunter, as we lose Shedeur, we lose these big draft picks. How do we see the recruitment increase from that big contract? We see the players that are more encouraged to come here with him, supposedly staying here longer.
Well, I mean, frankly, I think he wants to stay here. He said multiple times that he likes it here. He wants to be here, and the only really reason he'd leave is to coach his son in the NFL, his son's in the NFL. And so unless an opportunity like that arises, I really don't think we have anything to worry about. Of course, there are things that the college can do, like NIL funds, things like that, stuff make his life just a little easier, make him do his job better, just things like that. But I do think he wants to be here, and yeah.
Yeah, I think that the recruiting aspect of it is huge because that shows the players, whereas before it was a question of, is this a one and done? Is this, he's just here for Shedeur, as you mentioned. And now we can see that he really is trying to build something here. You know, one of the bonuses that he gets is for a Big 12 championship appearance, for a college football playoff appearance, for National Coach of the Year appearance. So those are put in the contract with the expectation that those are achievable, and those are things that he's considering and the school is considering.
Yeah, and I mean, well, first we got to take a step back. Something you mentioned, the recruiting. Is his ability to recruit going to increase? Because obviously we're still getting all the transfers, all the transfers that he wants. But if you talk about freshmen, stars, 5 stars, 4 stars, we're getting those, but will we ever get those on the same level as top programs in the nation? Like, I mean, Oregon, Alabama stuff. I mean, that's a high goal, but you just have to wonder, will his ability to recruit high schoolers kind of increase?
Yeah, and I think that's something we've seen with just his personality is something that draws people here. You know, he's very outspoken. He has this persona around him, and that is super attractive, especially to young players with the NIL, making a name for themselves. That is something that comes with going here. You know, we have the handles on the back of the practice jerseys. That is something that he certainly brings to the table that I don't think other programs necessarily do. And that is part of where he's brought so much of that revenue is the media side of it that he really plays into, I think.
Yeah, of course. And he's done so much for not just the football program, but the school. He's done so much. He's increased, the application rates. He's increased the school revenue. The town of Boulder, he's increased the town of Boulder's revenue. So much great stuff. So at the end of the day, if we're talking about the contract, making him the 4th highest paid, and even including all those things like the decreasing buyouts, I'm still happy with it because I think we wouldn't be here without him. Our football program wouldn't be here without him. I think we need him for at least a couple more years. This contract makes me happy.
I agree. How long do you see him for? Going through 2029?
I wouldn't be surprised if he came from the future, told me he retires here. I wouldn't be surprised, but then at the same time, I give him at least 3 years. After 3 years, I'm nervous about it.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Love to see that happen.
Yeah, but I think that's about all I have to say on the subject. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Thank you for watching our Buff Banner, and I'm Colby Wyatt. This is Mia Driscoll, and back to you at the desk.
Keeping with our theme of Coach Prime, let's look at his impact outside of football in Boulder. Since arriving, student population is up to 67,000, a 20% increase from a year ago. Out-of-state applicants are up 18%, and applicants who identify as Black or African American are up 50.5%. Lots of diversity coming to CU. A total of $93.9 million in direct economic impact to the city of Boulder has been reported by CU. The Prime effect is real and isn't going anywhere anytime soon.
And speaking of the Prime effect, we saw it on full force today at the CU NFL Showcase, where they had the whole "we ain't hard to find" everywhere. This was not your normal pro day. Members from all 32 NFL teams were there. The owner of the Cleveland Browns was there. There were multiple GMs. It was an event for sure. There were so many people. There was a lot of great stuff. Obviously, Travis Hunter, Shedeur Sanders were the spotlight, but you want to start with those two, or was there something else that caught your eye from that?
You know, it was kind of a surreal experience, but of course, getting to see Travis Hunter, Shedeur Sanders up close and personal last time in Boulder, something special, Trent, and I know it's going to be something me and you both remember moving forward, as those are two of the best to ever do it in the blocking.
And Shedeur Sanders completed 58 of his 63 passes today through and 3 of those were drops, so really 58 of 60. A couple of beautiful deep balls to Will Shepard, to Jimmy Horn. Travis didn't really run a whole lot of deep routes, but he didn't do a lot. Travis and Shedeur also only did routes and throws, no 40s, no 3-cone shuttle, none of that. But people who did do those more common combine drills was the linemen. Was there any linemen that caught your eye today?
Definitely. If you look at Chidozie Nwankwo, who did bench press, putting up 30 reps would have put him at number 1 of all defensive tackles.
That was an impressive performance.
Not only that, just his 40 times 6 explosion. We saw Justin Myers get up there with a 32.5-inch vertical with long arms for that offensive lineman, knowing his skill, being able to play both sides. See a lot of the depth that CU has.
That vertical was higher than a lot of the receivers.
It was, which is pretty phenomenal. Even like a linebacker, Levante Bentley, he got up higher than him at 300-plus pounds. Extremely impressive.
And Coach Prime said today that he doesn't think that there should be a question. Travis and Shedeur should be 1 and 2. He said that those guys have the least amount of risk of any prospect in the draft. A lot of mock drafts have them both going in the top 5, with the most recent one, I don't know if you saw by ESPN, had Shedeur going number 3 to the New York Giants, Travis Hunter going number 4 to the New England Patriots. We did see Shedeur talking with Giants general manager Joe Schoen and their head coach Brian Daboll. We saw him back in Heisman season. He was playing catch with Malik Neighbors out in the streets of Manhattan. So Shedeur to the Big Apple, do we think?
There's a lot of links there, Trent, and of course we've seen the cleats in the locker room too.
The blue cleats from the Alamo Bowl.
So many, comparisons there. But we also did see a lot of extensive conversations with the Cleveland Browns and Shedeur Sanders as well. So definitely a lot of interest from these top NFL teams, and just a lot of personnel and media in attendance who are all interested, all eyes on Colorado.
And a lot of the people flying in for today's showcase was saying how they were excited to come to beautiful Boulder, Colorado. Not so beautiful today. Guess they're going to have to come back for a game next year, maybe get game day, big noon kickoff or whatnot. But definitely was a one-of-a-kind pro day, one-of-a-kind event. Big success for CU and their players, I thought. And we'll see what happens. Draft is just under 3 weeks away now. So,
yes, Trent, most definitely it is a super exciting time to be in Boulder, Colorado. But it is now time for this week's trivia question. With less than 3 weeks until the NFL draft, where Shedeur, Travis Hunter are potential top 5 overall picks, our question this week is, who was the last Buff taken in the top 5? Stay tuned for our answer later in the show.
Oh, baby. Welcome back to Kit Field, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting ready for the second half of this matchup here in the RMWLL between RMLL Colorado Buffaloes and the Utah Utes. We are underway, folks, off that face-off from Mike Kuligowski. Buffs already applying some pressure. Jacob Ruse, long pass out to Craig Nam. There's Jackson Thomas for Kai Sherbert. That's sent back up to Wes Keller. Here's Nam. Back to Sherbert. Thomas, Sherbert. Send it back to Nam. Keller. Back to Ruse. That's back into the corner. Here's Nam again. Top of the zone. Ball is loose. Ground ball. Colorado fighting for it, and they come away with it as they'll take a shot, but it's saved again. Reminder, goaltenders Anton Gudik for Utah and David Baker for Colorado. Nam, top of the zone. Thomas, back out. Here's Nam, Keller, back to Nam. Nam will try to set up a shot. We'll divert to Sherbert. Sherbert went down, and ball is loose and goes back into the netting off that shot. Looks like they rocketed that one. So many rips in today's game. Here's Sherbert. Sherbert, top of the zone with Nam, Keller. Into traffic. Here's Thomas. Back to Sherbert. And Nam. Keller. 37 seconds on the shot clock. Winding that down as long as they can. Here's Nam. Keller. Nam. Sherbert. Sherbert passes that one. Back to Thomas. Nam. Sherbert. Thomas. Thomas. That pass. Back to Thomas. He'll think about taking a shot. Nam goes that one high out of the air, and a great save made by Gudik. And Utah responding. Charging down the other side of the field is Dawson Yates. Yates sends this one across. Wraparound attempt coming. Out in front. Score! Aiden Wallace rips this one right past David Baker. Narrows the gap back to 5. 8-3 Colorado. What a beauty. Looks like another wraparound attempt there. He just went right over that left shoulder of Baker. Able to capitalize. Back to the face-off circle is Kuligowski. He'll face off against Quinn Parker. Kuligowski with another one. Jackson Bergston, was in there for the Utes. And here's Ben Beckler. This one sent long, way down the field for Sam Carpenter. Carpenter. No wraparound. So here's Thomas. Sent back out to Alec Umilton. Umilton played this one back to Ben Shuri. Shuri, top of the zone. Send it back into Umilton. Shuri again from Thomas. Back to Thomas. Thomas thinking about taking a shot, and he'll send this one back out to Shuri. Back out in front. Ball is loose. Ground ball picked up by Utah, and it will go the other way. Picked up here by Ben Bergston. Jackson Bergston, rather. And they score! Zero. Ripped it right past Baker again. I think this is what Colorado was dreading all of halftime. Utah regaining the momentum and coming back. They cannot let their guard down. 8-4. Colorado still leads with 11:33 to go in the third quarter. Kuligowski with another easy win off the faceoff. Here's Kuligowski. Sends this one out to Nam. And a big shot. They score! Number 37 for Colorado. What a beauty. Excuse me, there's Jacob Ruse on that last play. Kuligowski back into the circle. Mike Kuligowski getting some cheers. Micah Van Pelt back into the circle. Kuligowski with another easy win. He's tied up with Van Pelt. It's a flag. Looks like we're going to get a penalty coming up here. No call, rather. It's going to be delayed. That's that back out to Keller. Wes Keller. Back to Craig Nam. That pass back out to Kai Sherbert. Sherbert to Nam. Keller. Keller sent that one back to Jackson Thomas. Wes Keller and Thomas. A little bit of a passing frenzy there. Jacob Ruse out to Keller. Keller back to Nam at the top of the zone. Sherbert. And now here comes Connor Ashman. Connor Ashman. Here's Ashman. Takes a shot. He scores! Connor Ashman rips that one from low and right between the legs of Anton Gudick. 2 unanswered goals from the Buffaloes. 10-4 at 10.5 to go in the third quarter. The momentum hasn't died down yet. They cannot let their guard down, like we've been saying. Mike Kuligowski will be taking on Jackson Bergston again. I don't know how he does it, but he always manages to win. Absolutely incredible. Bit of a sloppy one there, but it's going to be recovered. Ground ball still loose and recovered by Alec Umulton. Umulton sends this one out. Deep pass for Powers Decker. Powers Decker. I got to Thomas. Powers Decker's going to go to the bench. It's held on to by Colorado. Charging upfield now is Ben Shuri. Shuri at the top of the zone with Umulton. Umulton yet again. Here's Penoyer. Cooper Penoyer closing in. There's a long pass. And that one goes wide of the net. That was a rocket. Shot clock is reset. Here comes Colorado. Ball is ground ball, still loose. Recovered by Colorado. That shot is cleared. Ball is cleared out, and Shuri will grab this one at midfield. Here's Shuri. Back to you, Moulton. That ball goes back into the corner. Jacob Ruse will go grab this one. Out here comes Hughes, and they score! Absolute beauty on the redirect. It's Alec Milton. Jacob Ruse with the assist. 11-4 Colorado, 9:11 to go in the third quarter. Ruse getting a chant there on the bench. Here comes Kuligowski. Van Pelt back in there as well. Face-off controlled yet again by Kuligowski, charging. Thought about going up the right side. He's going to leave it back for Craig Nam. Nam. Wes Keller coming back on. Keller will take it. Keller going up the right side into position. They'll send this one back. Here's Roos. Nam. Send that one back for Ashman. Ashman. Another wraparound. Picked up here. There's a shot and deflected high. That goes into the soccer net in the backfield. 45 to go on the shot clock. So it's played out. Nam. Played that one back for Sherbert. Sherbert to Nam. Sent back for Thomas. Thomas takes a shot, and that's deflected. Nearly hit our photographers over in the corner. One thing I will say, our media team and our interns here at CU Men's Lacrosse, absolutely incredible at what they do. There's so many of them. 3 seconds on the shot clock, and it looks like they will, or excuse me rather, 8 seconds to go. Nam trying to get a shot off. Ground ball recovered by Utah. Now this is going the other way. Here come the Utes. Carried by Dawson Yates. You see that guy running up the opposite way, I'd be terrified. Dude is fast. Owen Wallace holds on to this one. Here comes Wallace at the top of the zone, and he'll go in. Up the right, ball is controlled by Utah on the right side. Wallace will take it. Wallace pass back behind the net. Back out in front. Here comes Aiden Wallace. Back to Owen. Owen Wallace, bit of a confrontation there with Wes Keller. Wallace shoots and scores! Unassisted. Owen Wallace. It's 11-5 now in favor of Colorado inside 7 minutes to go in the third quarter. Owen Wallace trying to set up a shot for a good half minute there. Probably closer to a minute at that point. And finally gets one. Past Baker. Kuligowski back out to midfield. Ball is loose, recovered by Kuligowski. Caught up in a little bit of scruffle there. And they score! Colorado! Jacob Ruse responds right off the faceoff. Not even 10 seconds later. 12-5, Colorado. Buffs are just unstoppable in this matchup for good reason. Kuligowski back in for the draw, as was Quinn Parker. Colorado recovers this one of that fumbled draw. Trevor Kunkel. Kunkel. And the ball is left back for Alec Udelman. Julian. Moulton. Mutin. This one's back into the corner for Thomas at the top of the zone is Penoyer. And another wraparound attempt coming for Roos. Sent that one back out. At the top of the zone. Milton. At the top of the zone. That one ripped by Penoyer. And went back into the soccer net as well. In the backfield. Way wide of the net. Colorado with another chance to respond as we round the 5.5-minute mark. Here's Shuri. Shuri left that back for Umulton. Shuri at the top of the zone. There's a shot there by Penoyer. Awkward shot there, and it's an easy save there for Goodek. Shot timer was reset. Utah not pleased with that call. And it will be Jackson Thomas with control. 8 seconds to go on the shot clock. Clock is restarted. And that shot, once again by Penoyer, is ripped wide of the net. Will be recovered by Colorado. Shot clock violation, Utah ball. Buffs will get a quick change. And Utah with another offensive chance as they're down by 7. Largest lead of the day, I believe, for Colorado. That would be correct. After going scoreless in the first quarter, Utah has put up 5 goals. 3 in this half so far. Less than 5 minutes to go in the third quarter. And they've got another chance here as Kyle Gormley. And now the ball is controlled by Warm. Warm, he'll try to take a shot and back out. And a beautiful save by David Baker. Here comes Jack Ryan up the other side. He'll go out and leave that one. Bit of confusion here as Sherbert controls it. Excuse me, rather, now it's Keller. Off the pass from Jacob Ruse. Ruse, 43 seconds on the shot clock. Ruse with a wraparound. Here's Ruse. I got here to Sherbert. Here's Thomas off the pass from Keller. Here's Ruse again. Out in front, here's Nam. Nam lost it. Ground ball recovered by Utah. It's still loose, and the race continues as Utah recovers this one. And a bit of a trip up there in front of the Buffs bench. Huge check. Utah crowd wanted a call. They're not going to get one. Play is stopped momentarily, or rather it's resumed, as here comes Keller. Keller sends this one back to Nam. Sherbert. Sherbert sends it back for Nam. Nam back into the corner for Ashman. Thomas. Top of the zone. Nam back into the corner for Ashman. Thomas. Sherbert. Back to Thomas. Thomas with a shot that goes wide. A beautiful save. Looked like by Goodek. There's another shot. They score! Jacob Ruse off that recovery. Buffs bench getting into it with the Ruse chant. Beautiful interception. That's an easy goal for Jacob Ruse. 2:34 to go here in the third quarter. And the Buffaloes take an 8-point lead. Back into the face-off circle is Quinn Parker. Kuligowski running to recover this one. Kuligowski lost it. Ground ball. Colorado fighting for it. Jacob Ruse. And we'll get a stoppage here as Kuligowski went down. Got into a bit of a scuffle with Dane Winslow. And a timeout called by Utah, and we'll step out here for a moment.
More changes are coming to Folsom Field. The school announced that the team will ditch its real grass for an artificial alternative. This news comes as a shock as CU's played on real grass since 1998. However, the move gives the team an opportunity to host December football games and more events throughout the entire football season.
In Buffs news, Chidobe Awuzie has found himself a new home. The tenured Buff cornerback has finally found a spot with the Baltimore Ravens on a one-year deal. What's notable about this is Chidobe spoke on wanting to go to a Super Bowl contender, and it appears with quarterback Lamar Jackson, he has found himself in a position to do so.
It's no April Fool's joke. The men's basketball season has officially come to an end this past Tuesday on the 1st of April. They took a rough L to the Villanova Wildcats in Las Vegas. They were competing in the first round of the inaugural college basketball crown tournament. They're giving anyone a tournament these days, losing 85-64. This loss ends the season for the seniors graduating and now has us questioning, what is Tad Boyle's team going to look like next year?
Definitely a lot of questions, but the Buffs are going to have an interesting rebuilding season. We're saying goodbye to seniors Julian Hammond III, Trevor Baskin, and Andrei Yakimovsky as they graduate. There are 5 players that have entered the transfer portal in addition to them so far this offseason. RJ Smith, Harrison Carrington, Courtney Anderson, Junior Javon Ruffin, and Ashawn Diop. So, how will this...
Welcome back to Kit Field. We are continuing play. It resumes. And Colorado back in the offensive zone for Utah, trying to extend their lead to 9. At the top of the zone here is Shuri. Shuri back into the corner. There's Thomas. And Roos. Roos for Thomas. Score! Jackson Thomas. Off the pass from Jacob Roos. That lead has been extended to 9. An easy rip over the right shoulder of Anton Gudick. Utah defense starting to lose their momentum, looks like a little bit. Right out in front of the net, it's hard to, when you're deep into that crease, it's hard to defend. Kuligowski and Parker come out once again for the draw. Here's Kuligowski, who quickly recovers it, and he's charging down the slot. Ball is lost and recovered by the Utes. Still a ground ball recovered by Thomas, who takes another shot and a beautiful save made by Gudick. Utah crowd is loving it. And another play here for Luke McElliott, and a beautiful save by David Baker. Once again, Baker's been absolutely instrumental this game and throughout this entire season, come to think of it. That's back into the corner. Lead out here for Owen Edwards. Owen Edwards out to McElliott. Back into the corner, 45 seconds rather to go on the shot clock. Johnson seeing some action for the first time today. That's Trey Johnson. That one's ripped wide of the net. 48.3 to go in the third quarter. 9-point lead for Colorado. 45 seconds. That one's ripped out. Going back out, Jackson Thomas. Thomas plays this one back out to Kai Sherbert. Sherbert out to Nam. Nam looking for help, and he's got it from Roos. Here's Nam again. Nam to Sherbert. They got to Ashman. Sherbert. Nam. Looking. Here's Keller with a shot and a beautiful save made by Goodlick. And here comes John Zins, and that will end the quarter. Excellent performance by Colorado. Utah tried to come back early in that quarter, just couldn't hold on to their momentum. Nonetheless, their defense looks like they're suffering a little bit. The extensive time Colorado has been down their necks in their zone. So we will step out for a moment here. Fourth quarter coming your way after this.
This play out next season, we're just going to have to wait and see.
We have some great alumni news out of the NBA this week. Buffs alum and current Boston Celtic Derek White has made over 245 three-pointers this season. With that, he passes Isaiah Thomas for the most three-pointers made in a single season in Celtics history. An even more notable stat, however, is that his teammates Jason Tatum and Peyton Pritchard are right behind him at 7 and 9 threes away, respectively. On a team with one of the best stars in NBA history, White now sits above them as the all-time three-point record holder. That's great news for CU. It's fun stuff.
It is. The women's team also spent at home last week. The Buffs made it to the third round before their tournament run was cut short at the hands of the Gonzaga Bulldogs. More info, here is Xavier McNevitz from the game over break.
Thanks, Xavier. Since Colorado's lost to Gonzaga, 4 players have entered the transfer portal, while 2 others announced they will stick around for next season. Guards Aaron Powell and Lova Lagerlid, along with forwards Grace Oliver and Aiyana Johnson, will continue their careers elsewhere, while forwards Jade Masagayo and Tabitha Betson will remain in Boulder. Powell, Lagerlid, and Oliver were 3 of Colorado's freshmen last season, while Johnson spent her sophomore year at CU after transferring in from the Minnesota Golden Gophers last spring. Coach J.R. Payne will have some digging to do to fill 6 roster spots.
While the rest of CU enjoyed a much-needed spring break, women's lacrosse was all business. The Buffs traveled to Houston, Texas to take on the number 16 ranked Dartmouth Big Green. As they do every game, the Buffs made their presence known early, putting up 4 goals in the first quarter. The Big Green dominated.
Welcome back to Kit Field. We're getting ready for the 4th and final quarter of Colorado versus Utah. Buffalo's on top 14-5 as Mike Kuligowski and Quinn Parker take to the draw once again. Kuligowski picks this one up. Gives you a little back pass to Trevor Kunkel. Kunkel out to Roos. Roos to Thomas. Thomas back out there to Ashman. Back for Craig Nam. Back in the corner there. There's a shot. Score! Mike Kuligowski, after winning a faceoff, gets his first goal of the day. 35 seconds in. Buffs on top 15-5, the longest lead of the day, and now lead by double digits. Kuligowski comes back, and this time he's facing Kyle Gormley. Kyle Gormley getting some motivation from his Utah crowd, who showed up and showed out today. Here's Kuligowski, plays this one back to David Baker, and Baker pass back to Joe Powers-Decker. Powers-Decker. Powers-Decker feeling that pressure. He's got to penetrate. Makes it past midfield. Trevor Kunkel. Kunkel back into the corner for Ashman. Ashman looking. He's going to leave this one back for Jacob Roos. Roos into the corner for Thomas. In the opposite corner. It's played out to Keller. Keller. Here's Nam. Nam puts it back to Sherbert. 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 Ashman. And there's another goal. This time by Wes Keller. 2 unanswered to start the fourth quarter for Colorado. 16-5 Buffaloes, 11-point lead. That lead just keeps getting bigger and bigger. Yeah, I'll tell you, Kulikowski, man, he deserves more credit, I'm sure, than he gets here on this. I mean, we already glaze him enough on here, but he's absolutely incredible in those face-offs. And there's another one that's picked away and picked up by him, and he's going to send this one back to. Looks like David Baker actually came out of there, and did see Matthew Gay warming up there. It's Matthew Gay in net now. This one's played back into the corner there. They're just going to exercise their goaltenders, it looks like, at this point, as Colorado continues to dominate. That pass out there to Penoyer. Penoyer back to Sherry. Sherry out in front. Score! That's Jacob Roos. I believe that's his 4th or 5th on the day. 12.5 to go. 17-5 Colorado. Yeah, if you're Utah, you're going to need a miracle to come back from a 12-point deficit. But Kuligowski comes back out. This time, he'll face Micah Van Pelt. Micah getting some cheers from his teammates, and Kuligowski's going to take this one himself. Charging up, he takes a shot, and that goes wide. And we'll go back into the backfield. 12-24. Colorado with possession. Here's Keller. Let's play it out there to Sherbert. Sherbert. I got to Nam. Nam. Looking. Nam plays this one back out to Keller. Here's Sherbert charging up the right side, looking for help. He's going to wrap around behind the net, rather. It's taken by Ashman. Here's Sherbert. A bit of a scuffle there up the left side with Thomas. Thomas to Keller. Top of the zone. Up the right side is Keller, and his pass is picked up by Roos. Roos, pass is deflected, and that goes out back into the netting and out of play. 7 seconds to go on the shot clock. Buffs bench counting down. There's a shot. It will be Utah ball. With possession now is John Zins. Zins pass to Sam Allen. And we'll get changes on both sides. As Craig Nam picks this one up. Nam back to Beckler. Beckler. So we'll get a change up here. Ball is controlled by Alec Milton. Thomas into the corner for Roos. Back out to Sherry. And here comes Penoyer. Sherry out to Umilton. Umilton trying to penetrate that crease and rips that ball wide. 10-13 to go. Benoyer loses his footing. Like a Ute lost his footing there. That one's ripped. Awkward angle by Benoyer. Benoyer's been trying to rip it from those angles. Just hasn't been able to capitalize yet today. That's a long pass, and it's picked up by Luke McElliott. McElliott trying to get a setup right into the Colorado defense. And now it's Owen Edwards in the corner. He'll go for the wraparound. Ball stays with Utah. Here comes Edwards. Out to Chabola. Chabola rips it, and a save made by Matthew Gay. Into the corner there. And it's picked up by Sam Carpenter, the defenseman. Carpenter pass intended for Trevor Kunkel. No connection made. There's Kunkel. Kunkel loses this one. Bit of a scuffle there, but it's picked up. And it will be Utah ball. Officials getting a little excited here as the game comes to a close. We have entered the final 9 minutes. 8:38 to go, and we get a stoppage here. Utah ball. In the corner is Owen Wallace. This was picked up by Gay. Here's Carpenter. Carpenter. Long pass and picked up by Connor Ashman. Kason Ballier. Kason Ballier seeing his first action of the day. That Shuri pass. That's for Alec Milton. Ballier. Ballier rips it and scores! Kason Ballier. Over that right shoulder again. You might have to question. Yeah, it looks like Sam Allen is in net now for Utah. He just saw one of his first shots of the day. Right past him. Kuligowski back out to midfield. Racing for this one. And it will be recovered by the Utes. Still a ground ball. Big check there. And here comes Utah going the other way. That's Jackson Bergston, the defenseman. Bergston looking for help. He'll send this one back to Owen Edwards. Edwards. Edwards back to Warm. That's sent into the corner. Utes looking for some more action after being down by 13 points. Owen Lombrady is down on the field. Looks like an awkward angle there. He went down with no contact. Saw some other injuries today. Yeah, it makes you question the whole turf situation here, as Folsom Field, our football stadium here at CU, will be getting turf next year in exchange for the natural grass, so as to host more concerts and other events and last throughout the winter. All players taking a knee as the athletic training staff tends to Owen Lombrady. and we'll step out for a moment. Welcome back to Kit Field. Owen Lombrady was helped off the field by his teammates and the athletic training staff here at CU. Hopefully he will be okay. Not putting any weight on that left leg. But nonetheless, play has resumed. And we are rounding the 6.5 minute mark. Buffalo's on top, 18-5. And they've got some chances in the offensive zone again as this one's controlled by Alec Moulton. Mutin sends this one back to Ashman. Ashman retreating close to midfield. He'll rip this one out to Mutin. Mutin will take a shot, and that goes off the crossbar and over here into the crowd. So Utah with a chance to respond. Inside 6 to go. We'd have to be managing more than 2 goals a minute at this point. It's a beautiful save there. That one nearly snuck past. He snuck past Matthew Gay. Gay will chase this one down. No, it will be picked up by Jack Ryan. Defenseman Jack Ryan charging up the field. Ball is loose. Another ground ball recovered by Utah. And it's played back. Still a ground ball, and it will be recovered by the Buffaloes. Here comes Connor Chesson. Looks like it's going to be Utah ball coming up here. So another timeout called by Utah. We'll step out here for a quick moment.
Early in the second with 3 back-to-back goals. Colorado headed into the locker room down by 1 at halftime, but emerged eager to pull off another upset. After a scoreless third quarter, Matty Shoup and Kendall Havel narrowed the gap to 1. Dartmouth's defense was too much for the Buffs to handle as they left Houston in losing fashion, dropping the game 11-9.
The Buffs played in sunny San Diego over break to start Big 12 play. The match was a thriller as Colorado came in hot, putting up 5 goals in the first quarter alone. Their momentum didn't slow down as they put up 7 more goals in the second. Graduate attacker Madeline Pisani recorded her 4th hat trick of the season, scoring 7 goals and 2 assists. A late comeback attempt by the Aztecs in the fourth quarter proved ineffective as the Buffs walked away with a 16-12 victory.
After opening up their conference play last week against San Diego State, 2 Buffs were named Big 12 weekly honors. Junior defender Jess Peluso earned her 4th conference honor as graduate attacker Madeline Pisani received her 2nd. Peluso was named Big 12 Defensive Player of the Week, and Pisani was named Attacker of the Week. These are the 7th and 8th week.
Welcome back here on Kit Field. We have just rounded the 5-minute mark in Buffs versus the Utes. And in control now is Pete Kuligowski. That's back for number 52, Casey Trapasso. Trapasso's pass, picked up by number 10. Four and a half to go. Buffs playing their second strings now. Buffs playing the underclassmen as they put up quite a large lead, 13 points. Bollier out here. There's a shot that goes just wide. Trapasso, and it will be Utah ball. Shot clock reaches 0. Here comes Utah in response. Clock will stop here for a moment. And here's Sam Allen. Plays this one back out. And charging down the left side there is Dane Winslow. This one played out. Pass intended for Cowan Iha. 3.5 remaining here in the fourth quarter. This one picked up by Trevor Kunkel. There's Kunkel who fires this one. That goes just wide of the net. That was fired from midfield. Wonder if that was the Nikola Jokic of lacrosse. D1 men's club lacrosse here. And a flag is thrown, so we will get a penalty. Looks like it will be on the Utes. .309 to go here in the fourth and final quarter. We're still waiting for the start. Penalty is assessed for 30 seconds to Aiden Wallace. So brief man up for Colorado. So that's played back out to Aiden Quam. Quam off the pass from Clay Toffanelli. Utah's defense needs to step up here to prevent a 15-point deficit, and they will recover. Man up is over for Utah. 2.5 to go here in the fourth quarter. That long pass is picked up by Colin Warm. Warm takes a shot. Nearly went in. That went just wide. Looked like it went in from this angle. Benjamin Beckler charging back up. Really shoving some of the Utes into the photographers here. 2:10 to go. Colorado maintains their possession. Colorado will try to set up one more shot, giving the underclassmen a chance to shine after a dominating game here on Kit Field. Johnny Becker gives this one back into the opposite corner. Ball is loose, ground ball, and will be recovered by the Buffs. Beautiful recovery by Aiden Quam. Quam back for Becker. Becker loses this one, gets into a bit of a scuff. We'll get a whistle. Looks like ball will stay with Colorado. Inside 90 seconds now. This one comes back out. Here's Trapasso. Trapasso takes a shot and it's saved. Sam Allen hasn't seen a whole lot of goals slip past him from the underclassmen. 1 minute to go. Final 60 seconds here, and Colorado will look to wind this clock down. Utah looking for one last chance, put one last goal on the board. There's a shot there, just goes wide of the net. 46.3 to go. That's played out in front. There's another shot, they score! You can forget the shutout in the fourth quarter. 18-6 now. Beautiful rip. Just past Matthew Gay. And it looks like Daniel Schaffer will come in for the faceoff. Kuligowski is no longer needed. Ball is still loose right at midfield. Ground ball recovered by the Buffaloes, who will wind this clock down. Pressure still on from the Utes. A pass back out to Jonas Steiner. Steiner looking for another opportunity out in front. Ball is loose again. Utah desperately trying to recover it. 10 seconds. And multiple flags come out inside 10 seconds to go. It's going to be Utah ball for the final 8.3 seconds in this game. Dominant performance by Colorado today. Absolute beauty. So the clock will be wound down. Utah with one last chance. Setting up one last shot in the final seconds of the game, and it's a beautiful save. And that will do it. Buffaloes 18, Utes 6. Huge victory for Colorado, who will maintain their number 15 spot in the country. Utah starting off conference play, starting to slip a little bit from their spot in the number 18 poll, dropped from number 16 the previous week. Rankings will be released early this week, so we will get those out on our social media. But an absolutely dominant performance by the Buffaloes today as they take their final huddle for the victory. And this has been an absolutely incredible match to cover here for you folks here on Scobo Sports. Once again, final score, Colorado 18, Utah 6. Absolutely dominant performance. Standouts from Jacob Ruse, who scored a hat trick today. And just an overall incredible victory for the Buffaloes at home. And that will do it here for us here on Scobo Sports today. Thank you all for tuning in for our coverage. If you've been watching us this entire weekend, we thank you. I'm Kieran Wager, Nick Evans, our producer, alongside me. And we are saying so long from Kit Field, and do not forget, you heard it here first.